a very warm welcome to all of you on Football This Week. This is where you get all the latest from the world of sports, be it La Liga, Premier League, Bundesliga, Champions League, and much more. If you love the beautiful game, this is where you need to be. You need to be watching our show because all the results, match analysis, everything will be right here on Football This Week. Let's begin with the Premier League action, and as things get tight, Manchester City up their game. On Thursday, City showed yet again why everyone has been putting their money on them to win the title, because Pep Guardiola's boys just don't slip up when it matters the most. They demolished Brighton 4-0 as Phil Foden's double lifted the Premier League title chasers to within 1 point of leaders Arsenal. This was seen as a dangerous fixture for Manchester City, but Pep Guardiola's side looked ominous on the night at the Amex Stadium, and Kevin De Bruyne put them in the lead in the 17th minute with his first ever header, that too from a long range. England forward Phil Foden struck twice before the interval to put the result beyond doubt. Julian Alvarez ended his goal drought after half-time to ensure injured striker Erling Haaland wasn't missed, as his absence with a muscle problem stretched to a second successive game. What this game showed to Manchester City fans is that their team is speaking when it matters the most, and now Arsenal will feel the pressure of City breathing down their neck in the title race. The win had all the signs of a typical City performance as they reached the finish line. They were calm, composed and ruthless in their execution all through the 90 minutes. City coach Pep Guardiola said he used Liverpool's defeat at Everton as a reminder to his Manchester City players about the dangers of football and how things can go wrong very quickly. He said,
"What happened to Liverpool at Everton, I said to the players, can happen to us. It can happen to Arsenal. People don't expect Liverpool to lose against Crystal Palace and yesterday at Everton, but it can happen. And to us, they have a manager that remembers many times. If we are not humble enough to give credit to all the other teams, it is going to happen." I didn't ask them if they watched Liverpool's game last night, like Arsenal on Tuesday, the 5-0 win over Chelsea. But I'm pretty sure they have an eye on the result. Going to Goodison Park is never easy. Never was for Man City. So you have to do your job, and we have done it. There is pressure. We know that if we don't win or we draw, we will not have the chance to fight until the end. What we have done in the past, it doesn't mean it's going to happen in the future. To do it again, you have to make it happen.
City have now gone 18 league games unbeaten, winning 14 and drawing 4 since they lost 1-0 at Aston Villa in December. And their world-class game changers are now in full working order when it matters the most. Next up for City is a trip to Nottingham Forest on Sunday, while Arsenal head to Tottenham just hours earlier. Right then, from Manchester City, let's shift our focus to Liverpool. Is the title race dream over for Liverpool, for Jurgen Klopp's boys? Well, even Klopp concedes that Arsenal and Manchester City must have a very bad moment for Liverpool to still be in the race. This after the Reds were beaten by Everton 2-0 in the Merseyside derby. Everton fans had waited a long time to see their team win over Liverpool at Goodison Park, and it sure turned out to be an unforgettable night for them. Everton took the lead in the 27th minute through Jared Branthwaite, who hit the ball past Liverpool goalkeeper Alisson Becker. Despite Mohamed Salah's efforts, Liverpool failed to equalise, and in the 58th minute, Dominic Calvert-Lewin netted a brilliant header for the second goal in a victory that will not be forgotten soon by the Everton fans, who serenaded the visitors with "You lost the league" at Goodison Park after the final whistle. It was the Toffees' first home derby win in more than 13 years and prevented Liverpool from climbing level with Arsenal at the top of the league table. It felt like Liverpool had walked into a trap as Everton turned on the power to rattle their arch-rivals in a manner rarely seen in these fixtures in recent years. Liverpool had their chances, but Everton would not be moved. It made for a miserable derby farewell for manager Jurgen Klopp, who says it's never easy at Goodison Park, and it has never been tougher than this. Liverpool travel to West Ham United on Saturday and clash with Tottenham Hotspur, Aston Villa and Wolverhampton Wanderers in their final 3 games.
I understand it, it's part of the business, but I don't know why I have to answer this question. You can read the table. So shall I say now we are still fully in over? So we need a crisis at City and Arsenal, and we need to win football games, because if they start now losing all the games and we do what we did tonight, nothing changed. And then we are not safe in the Champions League as well. So we should just play better football.
Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool have defied the odds before, but with this loss, they will know that their title chances may just be all but over. Right then, let's talk about the leaders, Arsenal. Well, Arsenal thrashed Chelsea 5-0 at the Emirates Stadium, and with that, proved that they are the team to beat. They are the leaders, and rightfully so, because now they're leading the race by 1 point, but at that point, they were leading this race by 3 points. Kai Havertz and Ben White, they scored twice each in a rampant second half performance from Mikel Arteta's side after Leandro Trossard had struck an early opener. The Gunners needed a fast start, which Trossard's goal gave them, and after that, they slowly but surely rediscovered the fluency in their game. The second goal, Arsenal craved, that came as Ben White turned in after Chelsea failed to clear a corner before former Chelsea forward Kai Havertz. He struck twice in 8 minutes to silence Chelsea fans and put Arsenal back on track. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta had been looking for ways to ensure his team did not lose its way like it did last year to throw away its chances of winning the league, and this win would have given them a lot of confidence as they play their remaining games. Now, after this week's Premier League games, let's take a look at the points table. And Arsenal are the leaders with 77 points and the best goal difference among the top 5. Take a look at that. The goal difference of 56 but 77 points. Manchester City are just below at 76 points. And then Aston Villa with 66. And with a goal difference of 21, and then there is Tottenham. So clearly, Arsenal in the lead, but only just because Manchester City right now, that needs to be 76 points. So just 1 point below Arsenal. We've seen the points table. The question is, are we seeing the Premier League head for a three-way battle between Arsenal, Manchester City and Liverpool as we enter the final week of the season, or are we down to 2 teams after Liverpool's loss to Everton on Wednesday, which was the 3rd time in 4 games that Jurgen Klopp's side has dropped points, and they have 4 more games to go. So let's take a look at the 3 contenders separately. Where do they stand at the moment? And then we'll talk more about what are the matches that are coming up for them. So if you look at Manchester City, they are fresh from their win over Brighton, and they are in the 2nd position. So that needs to be changed. They are in the 2nd position, and a win over Brighton has put them in the 2nd position. And because they were playing the FA Cup semi-finals last weekend, they have an extra game in hand. So Guardiola's side are peaking at the right time despite their talisman, Erling Haaland, being sidelined due to injury. And how often have we seen this in the last few years where, just when things get tight, Manchester City know exactly what to do. They have the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden, who are pushing the side to dominance. This team doesn't feel the pressure, or even if they do, they know how to handle that pressure well. They lost the Champions League quarterfinal to Real Madrid, but they have bounced back in a huge way. With that, what we're going to do is we're going to slip into a short break, and when we come back, we talk about Arsenal, we talk about what Liverpool's chances are. Is it all over for Liverpool? Well, all of that when we return, so stay with us. Welcome back. Now, we were talking about how the top 3 in the Premier League are placed at the moment and what can we expect from their coming games. We've already spoken about Manchester City. Let's also take a look at Arsenal quickly, the leaders at this point. And of course, I've got the best goal difference. Let's put that graphic up for Arsenal. They are the table toppers, but only by a point. And they've also responded brilliantly to their defeat to Bayern Munich in the Champions League. Take a look at that. So, number 1 position currently 77 points. But what we need to also understand is that Mikel Arteta's side registered a thumping win over Chelsea on Tuesday. They've got the top spot, but they still have played one extra game. As in, Manchester City are, they still have a game in hand. So it seems like Manchester City are trying to play catch up, but it's not to be. And then there is, of course, let's take a look at, we'll come to these in just a bit. Let's also take a look at Liverpool and, how Liverpool are placed. So Liverpool's current position in the third place, points 74, but they cannot afford to drop points after that 2-2 draw against Manchester United at Old Trafford and that shock defeat at home to Crystal Palace. It was Everton that landed that knockout blow as Klopp's boys lost at Goodison Park. So, what are the matches coming up for these sides and who hold the advantage? This is where the title could be won or lost. So, let's take a look at first Manchester City's matches. Now, Manchester City's fixtures look quite easy except the one against Tottenham, where City have never won in Premier League under Guardiola. So you've got to understand, since Guardiola has taken over Manchester City, they have never won against Tottenham, and that'll be a tough fixture. That fixture will be played in the final week of the season. Spurs would want to win this. They want to qualify for the Champions League. This will also be interesting. Remember, Arsenal, like I said, have played one game more, so looks like City are playing catch-up, but they really are not. Now, let's also take a look at Arsenal's games. Arsenal will play Tottenham. That's on 28th of April. Not be an easy fixture again for Mikel Arteta's side. Then Bournemouth. This is another one on 4th of May. And now Spurs have a good record against the top 6 this season. There is Manchester United as well that Arsenal are playing. Manchester United have a point to prove after the kind of performance that they put against Coventry and Sheffield United. So it'll be interesting to see how this match turns out. But what we know is that every game from here on, Manchester City will want to win, and Arsenal will hope that they win all their games, and then Manchester City ends up slipping in 1 or 2. Also remember last season's capitulation. That hangs over Arsenal. They surrendered a healthy lead over City, and when it felt like, they were going to be in the top contenders, they lost to Manchester City. Also, now what about Liverpool and their games? Liverpool's remaining games, they are going to play West Ham. That's the first game that they play. So let's take a look at that. West Ham on 27th of April. Then there is Tottenham. They play Tottenham. And these are difficult games for Liverpool. At one point, you felt like their fixtures would have been easier. But since they've been dropping points, things are going to get difficult. So there's Tottenham, there is Aston Villa, West Ham, of course, they played, and then they will be playing the Wolves. So it seemed that they were in the race, but now, losses to Crystal Palace and Everton, that didn't help. They'll have to win all their games and once again hope that Arsenal slip up and Manchester City also slip up. West Ham, that's an early kickoff, and then Tottenham, 4th placed Aston Villa and Wolves. So it's going down to the wire, and as both Klopp and Guardiola said, anything can happen in these games. Remember, if teams are level after 38 games, the title will be decided on goal difference, and Arsenal are way ahead on goal difference from Manchester City and Liverpool. Right then, joining us now is Philip Walter, a football analyst. Let's find out from him what we can expect in the final weeks. Philip, interesting one. It's going right down to the wire. It reminds us of that 2013-2014 season, right? When it was so close. What do you expect from this one? A lot of people are saying, AI is saying as well, that Manchester City are going to be the team that will win it for a record 4th time. Do you agree with those people?
After the last game of Liverpool, I think we can say that City might make it. Just the way they're playing the last match, 4-0 against Brighton, and you've got to say Brighton is not a team that's easy to play. They have a special coach with De Zerbi who likes to give them space, who likes to play short, and they deserve it from this point on, and we could see it. the mentality, the focus of the players, and that's just what was missing for Liverpool, in my opinion. As we've seen how they conceded goals, how they missed their chances. So I see a battle between Arsenal and City in the end. But I think with the fixtures already seen, we might have City with a clear advantage.
Which is what then, the next question for you is Arsenal. The thing is right now, everybody thinks that Arsenal, they are leading. They are right at the top of that points table. But Manchester City still have a game in hand, an extra game, which means that it may seem like they're playing catch up. But if they end up winning all their games, it's game, set and match for Arsenal. Manchester City will win this.
Yeah, right. And that's the thing that's not easy. For players at Arsenal, they know they don't have it in their own hands. They have to rely on City, and that's what's giving extra pressure on them. So, okay, if they win it all, they still don't know if it's gonna be enough. So, City, I think, has the mentality, has the focus, and in the end, if they'll do it, it's absolutely deserved, as I think the last Premier League game they lost was in December, so you can see the run they had in the last few months. I don't think they'll drop too much or even 1 point. So if they do it, it's a great achievement and well deserved.
And also just that they've been here before, right? It makes a difference, Philip. They've done this before, unlike Arsenal. Of course, Liverpool, most people say right now it's all but over, their chances of winning this Premier League. But given that Manchester City have done it before, and they're just a team that is oozing with confidence, somehow that Champions League loss doesn't seem to have impacted them in the Premier League.
No, they're fully focused on the Premier League now. They know what they can achieve. There's still 2 titles that they can win. And as you already said, they have the players, they have the mentality and the confidence also, yes. As we've seen Phil Foden the last few games, what he was playing was unbelievable. He decides games, and you don't have to forget he's still a young player, and just shows you how far they come from these young players getting all up to leaders. And I mean, they're a team full of leaders, not just only one who decides the games, but the whole team shows great effort. And I think, yeah, these games show just the way that they're unbelievable. The confidence, the skills, I don't think they can top it in Arsenal and London.
Yeah, Manchester City fans have the belief, and I think they will have by the end of the season a reason to be happy. Thank you so much, Philip Water, for joining us for this analysis. Welcome back. The best from the world of sports came together for the most prestigious sports awards, the Laureus Sports Awards, and there were footballers on that elite list as well. Barcelona and Spain star Aitana Bonmati, she made history as the first footballer to win the Laureus World Sportswoman of the Year award. Bonmati won the league and the Champions League with Barcelona last year, while also leading Spain to first ever Women's World Cup title. The 26-year-old had plenty of individual recognition as well, like the Ballon d'Or, the Best FIFA Women Player Award, and the World Cup Golden Ball. And Aitana returned to the podium once again to receive another coveted trophy with her Spanish women's football team, who were awarded the prestigious Team of the Year award. The team that lifted the trophy for the first time in the tournament hosted by Australia and New Zealand, beating England in the final. Jude Bellingham, fresh off the back of a spectacular game winner against Barcelona on the weekend, he was presented with the World Breakthrough of the Year award, becoming the first football player to win it. Midlands-born Bellingham has taken the Spanish capital by storm after signing for Real last summer. currently topping the La Liga table and into the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League. 10 goals in his first 10 starts for LeBlanco set the precedent for his inaugural season in white, with his rise to senior stardom beginning 5 years ago. All right, as the cliche goes, age is just a number. Holds true in this case for sure. A 58-year-old former Brazilian international. He's training hard for his comeback to competitive football. Retired Brazil striker Romario had registered as a player for America RJ, the Rio de Janeiro state second division side. Romario is also the president of the club, where he is set to make a return to the sport 15 years after he had stopped playing. He retired from competitive football in 2008 and he became America RJ's sporting director in 2009. He played for Brazil in 2 World Cups, scoring 5 goals to guide them to victory in 1994. His son also plays for America, and the father-son duo trained together for this one. Romario said he will not compete in the championship, but rather play a few games for the team. He also shared that overall his goal was to play alongside his son. After retiring from football, he became a senator and led congressional investigations into corruption in Brazilian soccer. Now, this is a News9 initiative. We're organizing Indian Tigers and Tigresses, the hunt for India's best footballing talent under the age of 14. This is a campaign that seeks to unearth footballing talent, both boys and girls, from all parts of the country. The initiative was launched in a grand ceremony with around 1,200 school kids participating in the event. There were representatives from the German Football Association, the Bundesliga, BVP Borussia Dortmund, Indian Football Center in Europe, and these representatives interacted with the kids. The registration for the hunt will open soon, and the European football scouts, they will assess the entries. The selected kids will be called to the scouting venues across India by the end of June. Top 200 contenders will make it to the football training camp, and 20 Tigers and Tigresses will be selected from the camp to go to train in Austria and Germany. They will also play some friendly matches with European clubs and meet football legends in August. It's a wonderful initiative, and it's our way of trying to foster a deep-rooted connection with the beautiful game. Let's listen into some of those children on what that experience was like at that event.
Basically, I love the teamwork that's put into it and the skills that are put into it, and it's just like overall a lovely sport. I like Manchester City, and like there's this footballer called Alexia Putellas, Alex Morgan, Sam Kerr, Ronaldo, Messi. Anyone can play football, right? So each and every person should have the right to play the sport, and your gender should not matter you playing the sport, right? So any person, be it an old person, be it a child, be it a boy, be it a girl, anyone can play football. And like if girls play football, then it definitely gives more empowerment towards the country, right? Because there are extremely less footballers, specifically in India. So if we empower more on women's football, then there would be more players that would be coming in, and yeah, it would be great.
Okay, with that, we've come to the end of this show. As we go, what are the big matches to look forward to? Of course, there is Premier League, and the top 3. Who are they playing on the weekend? We tell you that. And then there is also the Champions League semi-finals that we're all looking forward to. So let's take a look at those matches. West Ham, they are going to play Liverpool. That's at 5 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Then there is Manchester United versus Burnley. These 2 are matches on Saturday. There is Tottenham versus Arsenal. That's on Sunday at 6:30, and Manchester City versus Nottingham Forest. That's on Sunday at 9 p.m. Then there is the Champions League match, the 2 big matches. There is on Wednesday, 1st of May, Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid at 12:30 a.m. And then there is Borussia Dortmund versus Paris Saint-Germain. That's at 12:30 p.m. So a lot to look forward to for all the football lovers. That's it then on this presentation. And with that, we've come to the end of this show. Hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.